Hello, Northern Virginia. This is Nova Weekend Warriors, focused on those runners, cyclists, athletes, outdoor enthusiasts, and fans of fitness in the Northern Virginia area. I'm Meg Donnelly, a licensed massage therapist in Herndon, Virginia, focused on those weekend warriors. As with every episode of Nova Weekend Warriors, this podcast is for entertainment purposes only and should not be taken as advice, medical or otherwise. The views of our guests in each episode are solely their own and not necessarily the views of the Nova Weekend Warriors podcast or of Meg Donnelly in her capacity as a licensed massage therapist. Today's episode is a joint podcast with my friend and colleague, Sara Kotila of the Knead To Run podcast. That's Knead. And that makes a little bit more sense when you find out that she is a licensed massage therapist that works specifically with runners. And as those of you who know me, I work with a lot of different athletes. So we've just created a really great camaraderie. We've decided to go ahead and start a book club of sorts.
Great. So let's go ahead and get into everything.
Fabulous. We decided to choose the book, Let Your Mind Run, a memoir of thinking my way to victory by Deena Kastor with Michelle Hamilton. For those of you who may not have heard of Deena in the past, she was actually a star youth runner, had great promise, a lot of press about her in her youth. And after college, she had some frustration, maybe some negativity that kind of brought her to a standpoint of burnout. This is kind of her story of how she changed her mindset and the things that she did in order to get back on track and become successful. And what I'm really excited about is it gives us the opportunity to really get inside the mindset of an elite athlete, right? Sara and I both work with athletes a lot of the time, but I think to hear Deena's story is really exciting to me to kind of dig in from a psychological and social standpoint, what's driving her and how that is going to affect her throughout her career.
Listening to you kind of describe the book, it's definitely one of the things that I'm like, yeah, this sounds like a book that I would want to read, whether I was a runner or not. But I think especially if you are a runner, it just makes it that much more interesting. I think it really doesn't matter if you're a runner or not. We all struggle with self-doubt and different things that might stop us from trying to achieve our goals. One of the things that I find interesting, and I can't wait to dive into the book, is that I'm not a runner. And so for me to understand the runner's mindset from that standpoint is a little bit more difficult. I don't understand what drives somebody to get up at 4:30 in the morning to go for a run. It is not on the top of my list. However, I really enjoy working with runners' bodies because I understand the anatomy and the physiology, but I also think that in understanding the mindset of what drives a runner will be like that key piece that helps me just work with them a lot better. So I am super excited about this book topic.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you because I think that, that is one of the things that we are constantly striving to get better at, right? So of course I do training in massage for athletes, massage for runners, but we cannot forget and not stop learning the social and the psychological piece of what we do, and understanding what's going on in the brains of our clients is huge. I think it's huge.
God, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And you're right. I mean, I've taken countless numbers of continuing education courses geared towards helping runners. But if you have that missing psychological piece of the drive and why they do what they do, it's almost like, to me, it's kind of like putting together a puzzle and having half of the pieces missing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed. So at this time, I just need to make a brief break for our sponsor for today's episode. Today's episode is sponsored by Rowan Tree. Rowan Tree is a co-working and co-growth community focused on women, opening in Herndon this fall. Taking a unique spin on the co-working model, Rowan Tree is rooted in wellness, creativity, and light. While the community is geared for women, all are welcome as members of Rowan Tree. Just be awesome. For a limited time, Rowan Tree is offering founding memberships with incredible discounts and perks. You can learn more at workrowan.com/membership or email anytime at hello@workrowan.com. #WorkRowan and harness the collective power of women and awesome people working together. And now, back to our episode. So I'm wondering if you want to take a moment, I can kind of talk about, I'm not going to go over the full reviews because everyone can read them online, but in the sections of people who had reviewed the book, I'll talk maybe a little bit about some of the other reasons why I chose the book. Athletes Quarterly in their review had noted how it was a candid account of the self-doubt that enters the mind of an elite athlete. And that really drew me in. Another one, furthermore, from Equinox, had it listed on their 5 books high performers should read this month, and just talked a little bit about relying less on any inborn talents and more on the power of thought, attitude, and perspective, right? And I think that a lot of athletes that will really kind of stick with them, because we have a lot of athletes that, they you automatically maybe have an inborn talent, but man, self-doubt is so huge within the elite athletes circle. So changing your mindset to be more positive, but still be able to successfully reach your goals, right? Because if we just do, it's like the everyone gets a trophy. That we know that doesn't work, So you can't just be like, well, I did my best. Good job. There's way more detail. So I'm hoping in that book she kind of goes into more detail of how can you still push yourself while keeping a positive attitude.
Yeah, and I definitely think not just the elite athlete, but athletes of any ability level. If you're running your first marathon and you've never run a marathon before, I mean, you can have crazy levels of self-doubt, and that can really play a huge part in whether or not you think you're going to do well in a particular run or a race. So I'm definitely excited about this book. I think it'll be a great idea for us to do this on a monthly basis. And I would love it if our listeners would join in with us. I think that making this a little bit more of a social thing, and if you have questions or comments about the book, feel free to let us know. You can email me at podcast@kneadtorunmassage.com. And Meg, how do people get in touch with you if they have comments or questions?
Sure. So you can definitely reach out to me at meg@massagetherapybymeg.com. That's MEG. Or I'm big on social media. So you can always send me a private message through either my business or my personal page on Facebook. You can comment on Instagram. I'll make sure that I have the book listed on one of my posts. So even if you want to leave some comments underneath that post, you're more than welcome to do it that way. But definitely you can email me as well. And I love hearing from everyone, and kind of sometimes when someone emails you, to have that direct connection is really nice as well.
Absolutely. Well, so we will be back in September for the conclusion of reading our book and to talk a little bit about it. But in the meantime, again, we'd love to hear from you and what you think of the book. And we'll see you soon.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone read along, send us questions, listen in September when we talk about the review. Thanks so much, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye. That's it for today's episode. I want to thank once again Sara Kotila, the owner of Knead To Run in Exeter, New Hampshire. She's a licensed massage therapist and also has a podcast of the same name, Knead To Run. I would love if my audience would go and check out her podcast as well. As always, you can catch Nova Weekend Warriors Wednesdays featuring 15 to 20 minute conversations with the people who make Northern Virginia run, cycle, climb, lift, and swim. Until my next episode, have a great week, have fun with your fitness goals, and enjoy each new challenge you set for yourself or that comes your way. Bye.